morning. Good morning. We are almost at 100 people. Make sure you guys keep um, liking the live. The goal is so that we end up on the FYP because Lisa went live this morning and there were clearly new people in there. And that's why I thought of the song Never Gonna Stop. Even though that was about love, I'm never gonna stop. Because people are asking her how much. There's a gift that says nice to meet you, stuff like that. And she was messing with a Cash App this morning, which somebody gave to her. Oh, thank you, Georgie. Good morning. I appreciate all the heart me's. I'm just going to say this, y'all. If you don't go live on a semi-regular basis, you have no idea the games TikTok plays behind the scenes. So, a lot of times, like when I'm looking to see who I follow, you'll see who's live now, and then off to the right hand side, you'll see who has the upcoming live. So TikTok has been saying to me, schedule a live, schedule a live, schedule a live. So I was like, cool, I'm going to do it for Digital After Dark. So I go through the whole thing. It shows up as a little like sticker on my page. And then CJ reaches out and was like, yeah, I registered for Digital After Dark. You need people to register now? I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Register for what? And that's the thing. Like, TikTok just does things like calling it a fan club now. Listen, I had no idea. My only goal is to end up on the FYP. I take the gifts you give and I give them to other people who I think do the good work. And I donate the sub money. But TikTok, I see why it eventually pushes people to do things like battles and stuff like that. Like, I get it now. Because they are constantly like, if you want to join this, if you want to upgrade your league. I think I'm still a D, the lowest league possible. I don't care, but they're constantly pushing you to do something, join something, oh, you can make more money if you do XYZ. And you don't even have to sign up for it all. They just automatically put you in it. I fail every time, but that's because I'm not trying to follow their program. Because it's all meant to make them more money. Let's be honest. You seen it, Jody? Yeah. It's crazy. And I use it for analytics. Am I reaching people? Whatever. Okay, I'm going to get off this high horse because I'm actually going to talk about it later. Now, this is my one request. When you start liking the live, you click it a couple of times, you're going to see the heart. You click it a few more times, then you'll see what I call the heart's tail. I don't want you to click forever. So every time I change the photo, if you wouldn't mind clicking until you feel the heart's tail, which is about 85 clicks, that would be perfect. Just every time I change the photo. Correct. I'm building a mansion on the water with these gifts. I'm building a mansion on the water. It's ridiculous. But I appreciate it because I use it to encourage other people to get up and do the same thing. See, I just want to read this to you. It says, your fans reminded you to complete the Use Fan Club sticker challenge and get rewards. Go to Fantastic Journey to view more details. Y'all don't see that, but I do. It's crazy. Wendy, I'm just going to say this about Sheena. I've watched her enough to know. You know what? I'm going to deviate for just a second. Hold on. Because I watched her the other day. She ain't up here, but I watched her the other day. And when you go into anybody's live, they usually have that little blurb about what the live is about. And hers is like, I'm a recovering addict, bringing awareness. So I asked her, what awareness do you bring about recovery? Because I haven't heard a word, and I've been watching for a couple of weeks. And she was like, wait, what did she say? She said she's showing that you can live a normal life and don't need to be out of your head after recovery. And then I said, because I've never heard you mention it. And of course she ignored that comment. And went right back to yelling, likes, heart meets, gifts, gallery. Like, then she, like everybody else, starts battling. And what I don't understand about the battle is yesterday she was getting tore up. Normally when she starts losing or winning, she starts yelling. But she was at like 96, whatever that means. And the guy was at like 2,000 and something. And she literally was just swaying back and forth. Because it kept happening over and over and over again. But this is the thing. At the end of the day, the reason why they don't care about losing is because they still get to keep the money. Yes, I'm sorry. Happy Mother's Day yesterday for all of the mothers, and I say, and all of the dads who have had to be mothers. Well, it started off rocky. Granddaughter ended up in the hospital Saturday night into Sunday morning. But she's doing well. I can show y'all. Hold on. Let me show y'all that. She's doing well. So that started it. Thank you for the daily heart, me guys. Yeah, you see her little Ivy. She's getting so big. Thank you. She is beautiful. So that started it. And then my son called at 4 a.m. Like, sir, can I get some sleep? Okay, back to today. Who do we want to start with? Let's start with Risa. Because she doesn't get covered by people I see. Risa is someone who begs every day, but she makes sure that she begs really low dollar amounts. And I believe it is because she knows that if she starts doing too much, she's going to get the attention of people like me. Good morning, fuck it. You want people to send you pennies? Oh, yes. All your pennies, please. Because that's going to make me rich. You sent me about he is live now and has minors in his box. Okay, Granny, I'll check on it. So she asked like $8, $10. Yesterday it was $20. Now, you see how she looks, right? I want to show y'all something. That's what she looked like a couple of years ago. This is her from 2024. Look at that closely. This was, I think, 2023 when she was single. And I believe this was 2024, early 2024. And now this is what she looks like every day. In fact, today she looked way worse. She looked way worse. And it's always like a little bit of food. So the other day it was a little bit of, she wanted cold medicine or migraine medication. She wanted, she wanted Gatorade, Excedrin, and some soups. And so $10, she might be able to get those little packets of Excedrin, a couple of cup of soups, and a Gatorade. Josh and Ida are live. Somebody go check that out and see if they're still begging. Because when I left them last night, they were at like 172. Somebody go see if they're still begging and come back and let me know. Because I'm going to talk about them today. And I told them yesterday I was going to talk about him today and invited him to come to the live. Since he wouldn't let me in his box. Because I have questions. I bet they were, because they kept throwing her and Detroit Nike under the bus. When did you tell us we're wrong for judging you, and then in the same breath, you are judging other people on this app? Make that make sense. But because you cloak yourself in God's, for some reason, you think you're better. Okay, I'm not going to get on them. Sorry, because, woo! Yeah, they're live. I just want to know if they're still begging. They're still begging. What is the number? 167. Wow, they didn't get anything last night. But, okay, I'm not going to talk about them. Because I might talk about them next, just because. Because I can't even hold it in anymore. But one of the things Risa also does is, at first I thought she lived in California, and then I thought Texas. But this morning, her girlfriend, she lives with her girlfriend. The girlfriend works. According to Risa, she does DoorDash, but the girlfriend's car is in the shop. So she hasn't been able to work at all. She may have a DoorDash account, but I have never seen Risa in a car behind the wheel doing a single thing. The only time I see Risa is when she's on here begging. Sometimes she looks like she's getting ready to nod out. But the one thing Risa does is if she doesn't see anybody talking, she will restart. If she can't get people in, she will restart. If there aren't enough likes, etc., she will restart. She will restart over and over and over again. Because she's just trying to reach the new person who doesn't know, who can look at her face, and she talks very like slowly and like painfully. Like if anybody could help. It's all an act as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't know what she's actually doing with the money. I have my suspicions. 167. Yeah, they were at 172 last night. So they down to getting dollars. And she was already on this morning. Mind you, her girlfriend was up getting dressed to go to work, and she's laying in the bed eating. Not a single person came in there. I was watching from the outside. Oh, he did, Joe the Humble? I'm going to get to him in a minute. So, just for anybody who may be new, you can see under her photo, which I have to fix this one. I didn't realize it moved. I have their name and their @ If you can't, like, there are a lot of Risas on here. So it may be hard to just put in Risa. So I put the @ under it. If you only see one, it's because the @ and their name is the same. And I do that because I tell everybody all the time, you do not have to believe a single word I say. Go watch for yourself and make your own conclusion. Oh, don't worry, I'll get to that. So go watch for yourself, and you will see that for everybody I put up here, except for maybe Lisa, but I don't have any intentions on talking about her. I will make a couple of comments about her. She was photographed in a C-Rack house where it's an abandoned building. They go in there, they do what they do. Sometimes they sleep there, they sleep together in there, and it's just a place where they could be inside, out of the elements, away from prying eyes, and that's what they do. She was photographed there. Right, a trap house. And sometimes the DD will just be posted up in there so that they don't even have to leave. A voicemail was also released where some women who have supported her in the past, I guess, said no. And the vile thing she said to that woman, I don't understand how she gets another penny. I don't understand why she gets sympathy from everybody. She told that woman that she wished that her children would starve and that the house they were in burned down. I don't know who she's friends with. This is someone who asks for money every day for something different. She just does low dollar amounts so she doesn't come to anybody's attention. Yeah, it was vile. And it's all over. If you go on YouTube, some of the people who talk about her, I think, have it posted over there. Go listen to it. It is absolutely vile. And my thing is this. Just because someone tells you no this time, the fact that you have the expectation. Oh, and then one other thing. There was proof shown where a nurse on here who didn't know sent her $300 and something over the last week. And she keeps telling y'all she hasn't eaten. She probably hasn't, because what that money for is... Maggie May has it posted? Okay. She's not getting money, y'all. Because if Lisa only leaves when she gets money. She comes back sometimes quickly because she thought she got it and she didn't. She also comes back quickly because once she spends it, she needs to come back. one of the things that Tech explained to me was while each individual package is cheap, the roller coaster ride from regular to flying high back to regular is fast. And so they're constantly needing to re-up. And because new people come across them all the time and do not know the background, I'm going to continue. Can't be scared off, can't be intimidated, won't be intimidated. I'm going to keep doing what I do. And on Wednesday, I already have some bolos for you guys from this morning. I've been awake since 4:30. I already have some bolos for y'all. Okay. Lisa's live again. Somebody go over there and tell me what she's talking about. Okay, so let's talk about the scamming couple of the weekend. And for people who may not know them, they changed their name. It used to be Josh times Ida, and then their at was something different. But now they've changed their name to J times A, and their at is Josh times Ida. So initially, Josh and Ida were trying to become TikTok famous, and they were doing the skits. And the skits were like, he came home looking for his PS3, and she said she sold it to pay the bills. And he would act all upset and whatever else. And people enjoyed it. And their numbers grew pretty quickly. Now they are saying that was what I'm about to say is satire. But they literally told everybody that they quit their jobs to be full-time TikTok creators because their numbers rose pretty quickly. And I think they thought it was going to continue to rise, and that by rising in the numbers that they would make money, full-time income on TikTok. They're now trying to do it with YouTube, but that's what they thought. And it didn't quite work out that way. And so for about, I'm going to say 8 months to a year, they had this loyal following, and they became straight beggars. They became straight beggars. They literally would post up a bill and say, we need y'all's help. Electric bill, water bill. And what disgusted me about them is, like, let's say they had the electric bill up there. When they got the money for the electric bill, do you think they would stop asking? No. They would turn around and be like, well, I guess we might as well start. Rent is due in 10 days. Rent is due in 10 days. Right. So when people were like, y'all need to get a job, like TikTok isn't working out for you, they begged for a car so that they could DoorDash. The audience got them a car. They DoorDashed a couple of times. And then it was like, well, we live in a small town and we can't really make money off of that. But y'all got a car out the deal. Take the car and drive further. Take the car and go get a job. Then he begged for a computer for a work from home job. He is now using said computer to stream himself game. Now, and he also has a PS5. So all weekend, I'm like, if you guys are really, truly stressed about this, show everybody you're committed and sell the PS5 and the computer. Pawn it if you have to. And then at least people will see that you're willing to do anything because this is for your kids, right? They're down to 172. Pawn the computer. Pawn the PS5. You say you're getting paid and you would have had enough to pay the bill. So then you would be able to get your equipment out of pawn, right? Ask me if they've done it. Because YouTube wouldn't go for it. Then, what was I going to say? This is why I don't read the comments. Give me a second. Then the thing that gets me is they will throw up God and say God is watching you. He's watching you too. He's watching you too. And why is your electric bill $570 in the arrears? Is it because you guys stay up all night long playing the game? My other question is this. If she works and you work, how come nobody worked from Friday? Oh, I know what I was going to say. So then my question was to them, well, if you're going to have the money to pay it, offer to pay everybody back. Pay everybody back. Right, when they knew it couldn't be turned off. They knew it couldn't be turned off over the winter, so they just didn't pay it. Correct, Sherry. $570 was the minimum due. And when somebody asked them, was the bill $1,200? They were like, where are you getting these numbers from? Because you said that was half the bill. Mind you, apparently, last month, they begged for the electric bill to get paid. And they made a payment arrangement. My other question is, I personally feel like it wasn't cut off because the paperwork that they produced said the 19th. They're not at home. They're at a family member's house, according to them. If it said by the 19th, why is it off? That's the paperwork you produced. Also, I remember last year, people actually caught on, and some of the bills that they were using to say that they needed the money, you could find the bill on Google. And so what I think they would do is they would research bills past due. They would pretend that they were concerned about, their safety, so they would have to mark everything out. So that there wasn't any identifying information. And then say, see, this is proof. Always digital. Let me tell you something about the electric company. Even if you are like, what is it called? Like no paper, digital only. When they're going to shut you off, they have to mail it to you. They have to mail it to you. So why you can't show us the paper copy? Because I think they get it off the internet. Now, yeah, I know, Diane, they're down to $172. Again, at $172, sell something, pawn something. Get your lights back on. It's convenient that it happens on a Friday. It's also convenient that it happens on a day where both of them were home. Convenient that it happens on a weekend where both of them were home. Neither one of them worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and clearly they are not at work yet this morning. And then I saw somebody say that they claim, I didn't hear her say this, but that they claimed that she said she took yesterday off so she could be on TikTok begging. He could do it. Why would you miss an opportunity to make actual money to sit on TikTok and beg for it? Yes, they are back. So, back to history a little bit. So that's what they would do. They would have their bills all lined up, and they would literally beg for every single bill all day, every day. And at the time, I forgot what her name was back then, but now she wants to only go by her name, Shannon, was raking them over the coals. And Shannon built a platform real fast, taking them on. And at one point, it got really nasty. Like, her people were creating AI videos. Their people were creating AI videos about her. And then, because they weren't the ones who personally did it, they both wanted to throw up their hands and be like, I didn't do that. I didn't ask anybody to do that. Yeah, but you knew it was from your side. And you could have told your people to chill, but you didn't. And then literally all of a sudden, Shannon was like, I'm not doing it anymore. And I find anybody who calls people out for what they do on TikTok to be disgusting. And I'm looking around like, what? You built your entire platform on dragging them, and now suddenly you don't want to do it anymore? And then the next thing I knew, they were in there battling. And she was like, they've assured me that they're going to stop. They're not going to do this anymore. And since battling is sanctioned by TikTok, then they're not begging anymore. And she was in there battling them. Right, sassy. There you go. There you go. And ever since then, and I asked her, like, so I didn't say anything originally, but then they started begging again at some point not too long ago. And she was live, and I went in and I was like, how do you feel about them begging again? And she blocked me. And then talked shit about me like I wasn't watching her from another account. I don't do awareness, because I think that's what I said. I went in and I said I would be considered what you would consider awareness, even though I don't claim that name. And I wanted to know how you feel about Josh and Ida begging again. And she blocked me and then was like, I'm not awareness and I don't care what they do and blah, blah, blah. When I talk about people who do this work to build a following and then they go left with it, she's one of the people I'm talking about. And now she's in all this controversy. For what? Every time I turn around, somebody's beefing with, she wants to go by Shannon now. Like, girl, you built your platform off of doing this. And now suddenly you're the problem? So apparently, over the course of the weekend, she started talking about them again, according to Josh and Ida and the people in the comments. You trying to rebuild your platform, mama? Hey, goes to CJ. I thought you was here already, baby. Smooth cookie, I'm afraid as well. So, then they claimed, Josh and Ida, that they got jobs. And they weren't going to be on here asking anymore. You can take the word scammer off their profile. It doesn't mean that they stop scamming. So, because think about this for a minute. You know the electric company can't cut off your lights during the winter. So then you just don't pay it. That's scammy vibes. Why do you think you can take advantage of the electric company? So last month, you made a payment arrangement, according to you. You begged for the money for the first part. Now the second part comes due, and they acted surprised. And they kept saying, good morning. They kept saying, it says the 19th, but they cut it off today, and I don't know why. Did you call the company? Yes. Let me tell you something. They would be able to tell you why. So the fact that they weren't able to tell us why it got cut off makes me think that they just picked up somebody's bill. Now, I'm not even saying that their electric wasn't cut off. But isn't it convenient that they couldn't show us any letter that stated it? Right. A lot of people in the comments were like, I have Georgia Power and they do this, that, and the third, contradicting the stuff Josh and Ida was saying. So this is what they put up. They put up this little tiny blurb that's like, you owe $570. If you don't pay it by the 19th of May, we're going to cut you off. That's what it said. There was nothing that said, and we cut it off today. And they thought, and they clearly did, got people to ignore the fact that it said we're going to cut you off on the 19th of May. Then there was a second blurb, and I can't remember what that was. But then, because they're so concerned about their safety and not wanting to be doxxed, even though they've been doxxed before, below it, he puts where it says, good afternoon, Josh Williams. Mind you, the good afternoon, Josh Williams was, the lettering was black, the background was white, but the threat of termination was red and white. So to me, if I had something from my electric company that was a letter of warning, it would say, good afternoon, Josh Williams. And it would have the letter. So I should be able to block out the address and account number and show you the body of the letter. And why would it say good afternoon? Like you said, dear valued customer, hello, any of those things. They couldn't show it like that though. It was all screenshots. And I don't understand why some people don't take 5 minutes to say, does this ring true to me? I want to show y'all something else. So they say that they are full-time employees, that they both have jobs. Why does their account say full-time game streamers, living the dream, give God the glory? Because now they're no longer full-time TikTok creators. Now they're full-time game streamers, and what they're constantly trying to do is push people to the YouTube, And remember, he was like, after this, I'm going to cancel TikTok. You're right, you said that the last time. You can't get this level of assistance anywhere else. Just like Beth had to come back to TikTok, Sean had to come back to TikTok. The only way you're getting money like that is to come back to TikTok. I think they want that money. I don't even think that's their bill. I think they wanted that amount of money. They found a bill, or it's like somebody posted it or something like that. Or it's not due until the 19th. And because they never waited until something got cut off to beg for money. Never. They would be like, it's going to be cut off such and such. It doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, y'all know what I say. It probably isn't true. Shout out to Judge Judy. I'm trying to look at my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything. Well, again, and the 570 was only a portion. It's what they needed to pay to get it cut back on. That wasn't the entire bill. And so when I was like, well, if you're going to have the money, pay everybody back. And what did he say? If people want their money back, I'll pay it back. If they borrow it to me, which isn't proper English, but if they borrow it to me and they want to get paid back, I'll pay them back. No, why don't you be a man and offer it back? You are putting the onus on the gifter to beg for their money back. You got it. You said you would have been able to pay it if it was on the 19th. So say, I'm going to pay you back. Right. Down to 157? Okay. Yeah, borrow it to me. Kesha says the same thing. I'm like, what? Right. She said they're 2 months behind. But last month, they had to beg for the electric bill for part of it, so it didn't get cut off last month. And guess what? As soon as they pay the 570, they still have a bill. That's just to cut it back on. And now they want to do what do you call it? Prepaid electric. That's going to be even worse. That's going to be even worse. But then my question is, could it be that the electric bill is so high because do y'all see the gaming room they've created for themselves? It has lights and stuff on the walls and, the microphone and the whole setup is almost like a professional setup. Even though the stuff might have come from Temu, it looks like a professional setup. Right. All of those lights and the blinking and the whole shebang. The computer and the PS5 and... But you want us to care about your children. That this is, if you don't want to help them, help because of the children. What are you doing to help the children? Again, you guys act like you're never going to be down. No, a lot of us have been down. I remember growing up, my electricity never got cut off. Right? Never. And it wasn't until I was an adult and I owned my own home that I forgot about it. I'm going to be honest. I forgot about it. And they I got a shut-off notice. So they told me I had to go somewhere and pay it in cash to prevent it from being cut off. So I went to the little corner store and paid it. What I didn't know was that I had to call back and give them the receipt number to prevent it from being cut off. So I'm assuming I've paid it in cash. They must know about it. And when I got home from work that day, we had no lights. And I called them, and I'm like, what happened? They were like, did you call with the receipt number? And I was like, I didn't know I had to. It's never happened in my entire life. I didn't know that was part of the process. So, miss me with it could happen to you. It's happened to a lot of us. We didn't have a TikTok to come to. I saw somebody say something about a payday loan. He was like, oh, my credit isn't bad. Payday loans love to see people with bad credit show up. What you mean? If you had good credit, you could go in the bank and get a loan. Payday loans are meant for people with bad credit. And so that the interest rate is 1,000. But they aren't willing to do anything that puts them out. Oh, you mean we might not be able to play our game until we get paid? Nah, we not pawning nothing for that. We don't need the electricity that bad. The interest would be high. But you got the money, right? You said when you're going to get paid, you would have had the money to pay the $570. And she's like, we just paid rent, y'all. Come on. Do they act like all of us don't have the same bills? We all have the same bills. Good morning. Right, because the power is off. Maybe if you stayed in there for a couple of days with no power, you wouldn't let it happen again. And they're like, you know, we really appreciate the kind people in here because all we're getting is hate. Telling you the truth is not hate. I'm not a hater. I'm not a troll. I'm a truth teller. But they like to lump everything together so that when someone hears hater, troll, all of that, they think we're all bad. And so at one point, he said, hold on, let me put their regular picture. By the way, you can see there's a J times A and the Josh times Ida. That's the account information. Yeah, so at one point he said people could come in the box, that they could be people who didn't agree with them. Y'all know I went right in there like, boop, 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 boop. Can I get in the box? Then it's like, oh, when we get it paid, you can get in the box. Let me tell you why they wouldn't let me in the box. Because they know that I'm going to ask questions that are going to reveal the truth behind what they're doing. That's why he needed to wait until after. Because they're concerned that perhaps I might turn somebody off from wanting to pay. And so I said to him, I asked a few times. He was like, no, I'm not letting you up. People were like, let digital in the box. And everybody knows when I get in the box, except for with Gypsy, I don't hoop, holler, start cursing you out, tell you that you're a deplorable person. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. People with no intellect need to do that. I don't. I can simply ask questions. And as fast as you answer, I've already thought of the next one. So I said to him, he was like, who's talking about me? I said, well, I'll be talking about you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. But you're welcome to come in and get in the box. I won't be like you. You could come get in the box. Good morning, Disturbed One. He ain't here because they ain't get the money. But how come ain't nobody working today? We got another day. We took another day off to come on here and beg. In the 2 days, you could have made the $170-something. They want it from the audience. They want it from the audience. Good morning, Mary. They want it from the audience, and they want all of it. And I feel like the way they chopped up the original, we're going to cut you off on the 19th, never explains why it was off on the 9th. But they used it to say, we're so shocked. And then I cannot for the life of me, and I don't think I took a picture of it, I cannot remember what the second blurb was. But then when it said, good afternoon, Josh Williams, and they had it as 3 separate things. Just take a screenshot of the whole thing and take out the portion that has your information. Japanika, let me tell you something. You don't need an office nearby. All you do is if you talk to the customer service agent and she says she can't explain it, I want to talk to a manager. Right, Kite Girl. I want to speak to a manager. And I keep asking for a manager until somebody can explain it to me. Right. Again, this could happen to a family. I just told my story of when it happened to me. Mine wasn't because I didn't have the money. I literally forgot about it. I don't know how, but I did. And I got a shut-off notice. And it certainly wasn't for $570. But it could happen to anybody. The question is, how do you deal with it? And the idea that the first move you make is to come to TikTok before you pawn the computer, pour in the PS5. You'll have the money by the 15th. So no, I might not be able to game for a couple of days. But my kids have lights. And then last night she was complaining, I haven't had any sleep since Friday because I've been sleeping on a couch. Be glad you're not sleeping in the car. You're so worried about your children, but you aren't yourself willing to do anything other than quote-unquote humiliate yourself. Good morning, Andrea. Thank you for that. Gifts are appreciated, but not necessary. Josh's job is being a caregiver. I mean, that's a legitimate thing. But now I know why he goes when he wants to. Right, Jennifer. Good morning to everybody. I appreciate it. Right. If the safety and security of your children is the most important thing, you yourself would do anything to make sure they're good. If he had come on and said, listen, we made a mistake, whatever, but I pawned the computer, the PS5, and got $300 and we need to something, I would respect that so much more than for you to be on here now for a fourth day. Mind you, what she tried to say initially was we need the 570 and we need it by 2 o'clock. And people were like, why by 2 o'clock? I said, because your kids are coming home. And no sooner did I type it, that's what she said. Okay, Vampre. Kiss her, tell her to have a good day. You expected to get almost $600 in a matter of, 6 hours? And then, this is the other part I don't understand. Why are people begging to be mods? Like, I tried to rack my brain last night and think, did I ever beg anybody to be their mod? Because this is what also happens. So they become the mod, and then somehow it gives them this godlike power. They love muting and blocking. You think we don't have more accounts to come in and say exactly what we want to say? Right. They were like, why can't everybody? Because you in here making the rest of us not be able to say what we want to say, so you fund the rest. You fund the rest. You wanted to be a mod so bad so that you could cut people at their knees for telling the truth. Y'all know how I feel. If someone is nasty, disrespectful, block them, because I'm not going to put up with that here either. But if I'm just saying, why haven't you sold your PS5 and computer and you mute me? Where was I mean? Where was I a hater? Where was I disrespectful? Today's a little confusing for me because I have literally now gone into the third notebook. So some of what I want to talk about is in the second notebook, and now some of it is in the third. So bear with me just a little bit. So when I saw them last night, they had 244 to remain. And by the end, it was like 174 or something like that. Now it's what, 150, somebody said? Or something like that. Yeah, so he was all like, people are talking about me. Who's streaming me? And I was like, I'm going to talk about you. 157. I'm going to talk about you. Oh, I'm not talking about who's talking about me. I'm talking about who's streaming me. Why do you care? Really? Why do you care? You are here to talk about your electric bill. And y'all know what I said on Wednesday. I said, now we have the argument that you are making money off of talking about us. That's what you say we do. You spend half of the live talking about the haters and what people are doing to you and how people are treating you. And in some cases, y'all say our names. And you get gifts. So now I'm going to say, why are you using us for clout? Why are you talking about us to get gifts? Why are you talking about us to get people to send to your apps of cash and her cousins? Correct, Kite Girl. That's why they told their new mods to just mute. Oh, they claim that they brought their food out of their refrigerator and it went into the deep freezer. They just conveniently had enough room for all of your food to go in the deep freezer. This is what I mean. Like, if they had said, we bought, like, all of our meat and we're going to lose everything else. Or we were able to bring some things from the refrigerator, some things from the freezer, and that's all they had room for. They had room for everything. Correct, Gigi. And I said on Friday, it is interesting to me that it just so happened that you got cut off on the Friday when both of you were home all day. Isn't that interesting? My electric company didn't worry if I had to work that day or not. They didn't make sure they cut it off on the day that I was home. I bet they did. They ain't coming in here. They are not coming in here. They probably have somebody in here, though. And if you are in here, I hope you hear what I'm saying. And you realize that what I'm saying is rational. And then you bring it back over there and say, well, yeah. How do y'all have full-time jobs and this is your fourth day begging? Wow. Somebody sent them the whole 158. That's crazy. Bright Kite Girl. People did what they had to do. Now, you've gotten the money, Josh. Come on over, boo. Okay, they just ended. Of course. I thought they were going to pay and show us. I thought they were going to pay and show us. They'll be back on when they get home and the electric is on. Ended real quick. Real quick. My thing is this. For 4 days you've been on. Someone sends you the entire 158. I would have been on for 158 minutes thanking that person. She can't go pay it. And now they claim they share the same phone. Be for real. Be for real. It is absolutely wild to watch in real time. I promise. You are exactly right. So, you're at somebody else's house. Why couldn't you use their phone, pay it over the phone, so we could all hear it? Or show us, I want to see the receipt that said, and the time, date, time, the receipt that shows his name. I don't care about his address. I don't believe in doxing anybody. His name, the date, the time, and the amount. All on one sheet. I don't want to see nothing broken up. One sheet. Of course they stopped the live. They'll show what adding machine was. Listen. They're not getting thousands in gaming either. They're trying to rise. They want to make money doing nothing but what they enjoy. TikTok didn't work out for them, so now they're trying gaming. They're not even that good. If anybody followed Mr. DD, you'll see that he's affiliated. He doesn't even post on TikTok, and I keep knocking him over the head. You need to post, you need to stream on TikTok. It'll get people to go over to Twitch or whatever the other one is. But he's affiliated, and he's supposed to play so many hours a week. Right, Miriam. It's ridiculous. Well, they got it. I will not accept anything less than the entire document, the entire receipt, his name, date, time, and amount. I'm not accepting nothing else. I'm going to call it cap until they do that. You could block out address. You could block out account number. I want to see Georgia Power, Josh Williams, 570, whatever it was, today's date and time. She does her hair a lot, but according to what I understand, she's a cosmetologist. That's why she does it. And I do not want to see it digital, because I can create a receipt. All you got to do is get the Georgia Power. You could get, look at their letterhead, cut it, and put it on a... listen. Nope. I'm not accepting a single digital thing. She does play in her hair a lot. It's I think it's a nervous tick. Whimsical, 100% correct. Let's see if they do that. Correct, Crashly. You live close to Georgia Power? Yeah, that's all I'm accepting. This whole broken up thing, Like that good afternoon, Mr. Williams could have come from a doctor's office that was like, you have an appointment coming up. Come on. We're not that stupid. Some people may be, but not over here. We're not that stupid. Okay, let's move on. Who is next? Okay, let's talk about her. Again, this is somebody who I brought the attention to that a lot of people don't watch. Now, she said she was homeless. She said that she was working like day work, night and day. How she was able to beg at the same time, I don't understand. But she claims that she worked super duper duper hard and was able to get first, last security or whatever was required. And she had her new place coming. And at one point, she was saying, I just need enough money to get through the week. I get my apartment on whatever day it was. So I think she was supposed to get it May 1st. She got the money to stay in the hotel for the 5 days or whatever it was. And 2 days later was like, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be the Tuesday before May 1st. So she asked for the money until Tuesday, got it, then came back on and was like, I can't get it until the 1st. I need more hotel money. Now, she kept going live on like the porch of this house every time. And I'm like, for somebody homeless, for somebody who says they worked really hard to get the apartment, how are you always in the same place? And so what she said is that she met them begging one day and that they have allowed her to use their electricity and Wi-Fi so that she could come on TikTok and beg. And that she sat down and talked to them and they've been really helpful. And I was like, stop it. There are nice people out there, but stop it. Something about it did not feel right. And I would come here and say she's begging and blah, blah, blah. But I held back on my feelings about the location. Oh, Lord. Siri, this is why I'm getting my $20, because mind your business. So, apparently she's gotten a place, right? All is right with the world. And then I noticed yesterday that these photos popped up. Let's see, where are they? Now, I had 3, but one I decided not to use. Now, one part I forgot to say was that she does a lot of like dancing videos and little skits and stuff like that. I mean, she's a talented young lady. But it would always be like an abandoned building, somewhere out the way. But the clothes were always nice, clean. Just like the juxtaposition between the video she was making and the circumstances that she was saying she was in was odd to me. So you went from being homeless and alone with absolutely no support to being in a loving, loved up relationship where y'all are together all the time? Yeah, her braids were super long. All yesterday, posting about how in love she is and blah, blah, blah. I decided to hide the girlfriend's face because she don't have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So now I feel like you weren't single this entire time. It was probably your girl that was working. You probably did some work here and there. Probably some of the beg had something to do with it. But you needed to hide the relationship for multiple reasons. One being that you wanted women who might find you attractive to give you money. Ain't that interesting? And was the house you were going live in have to do with her family? Is that why you were able to be there all day, every day? Or is that where you were actually staying and all of this stuff about a hotel? And what brought her back up to me was she gets the place and then on the 8th decides to beg in the exact same location. Not in the apartment, not outside the apartment, but in the exact same location. She was begging for $44 to get her lights turned on. I thought you said once you got to the apartment you would be straight. So when she started posting this yesterday, I was like, yeah, she's been playing in our face. She's been playing in our face. This is who she is. Kool-Aid K, Cash Inc. I don't know what that means. Kool-Aid K. That's what she goes by. I haven't even bothered to try to figure out what her name is, any of it. But right there you see her name and her @ Go watch it yourself. You don't have to believe anything I said. Oh, Cash Incorporated. Correct, Bella. Should have been a C, then I would have gotten it. But, I'm of a different generation. Correct, Taurus. I will often say, especially people who have been addicted to other things, TikTok itself can become an addiction. But more than that, there can be an addiction to the beg. The dopamine hit you get when you see the notification come up that somebody sent you money is a new addiction. Coming here and have people asking, what do you need? How much do you need? What is it for? Over and over and over again. For someone who has an addiction, that stuff can be the dopamine hit that gets them over the hump. It's like any other rug. Facts upon facts. So I'm going to continue to watch. Because I want to see, you were able to get all that money and not $44 to get your lights on? Or are you playing in our face? Because I think she was either staying in that house, that's where the girlfriend lived, and she's another one. When she gets the money, she is out. Okay, welcome back in. She's out. Now, she claims that she shows proof. I've never seen any proof. I'm not going to say she doesn't. I have never seen any proof. But I love how, and this is the thing, if you're staying in a hotel, usually hotel motels have Wi-Fi and electricity. Why you got to be at these people's house? People you claim you do not know. Correct, Taurus. I agree. And when you're getting money that easy, not for nothing, who's gonna stop? You could say it's for the electricity and it could be to take your girl out to dinner. Oh, I missed that. Let me go back real quick because I missed this. Because this is what really pissed me off. I'm sorry, I got to go back for a second. On Sunday morning, she was live asking for money. She didn't give an amount this time. And so I asked, what do you need? Because she's like, I need some money. So I'm like, what do you need it for? She said, it's Mother's Day. I need balloons, a card, and a box of chocolates. So it's our responsibility to take care of your Mother's Day needs? And if you don't have it, whatever you could do, whether it was for your mother or her girlfriend, I am not sure. You don't got it. Everybody in life knows you don't got it. So why don't you just write a heartfelt letter? Sometimes that's more important. Clean up for them. Do something for them that shows you appreciate them. But no, it was easier to come to TikTok to beg for stuff for Mother's Day. Just like Lisa this morning was like, it was Mother's Day and my kids didn't even call me. Who's surprised at that? Correct. And that's why I think she like the rest of them, like to use holidays, special occasions, any blip in life, any blip. It could be a big blip or a little bit. I need money. That's what pissed me off. That's what made me add her to this list. Who's that talking? Goodness. Oh, here we go. So, you guys, make sure you get her at down and watch her for yourself. Okay? Watch her for yourself and see what you think about it. I got a mini chainsaw. All right. Let's do Gypsy. This is a bit of a longer story. I'm going to need for you guys to bear with me. Okay? So I come across the live. And when I come across the live, Gypsy is talking to, I'm going to show you. Gypsy, oh no, I won't use that picture yet. Is talking to this young woman, Tiffany. Her at is baby girl 86. But her name is Tiffany. And Gypsy was telling her that she was able to get her some money. She was working on it. And that the church was going to call her. And then she directs her attention to the audience. My friend, this is my best friend. We've known each other for so long. She needs to get home to her husband. She needs $600. I was like, for what? And it was a situation where I usually get a feeling very quickly. I reserve judgment, but I get like a, wait a minute, something's not right. And then my spidey senses go off when she says to her, when the big man from the church calls you, don't mention anything about a man. And I was like, we lying to the church now? Now, my eyes and ears are really open. Good morning. Welcome in everybody who just came in. And I learned that Tiffany is from Kentucky. But one of the other things that got my spidey senses was that Tiffany looked like she was nodding out. And I could hear a kid in the background, and I'm like, she's nodding out with a kid in the background? Like, what? Come to find out, that wasn't her kid, that was her nephew. So then that's when Gypsy says she's been able to get her $300. And it was like, you're going to go down there with her husband and her kids, and she needs $600. And I'm just sitting there like, something doesn't make sense. And Gypsy is doing all of the talking. People are asking questions in the chat. Tiffany doesn't get to answer anything. It's all Gypsy. Now the problem is that Gypsy can't keep her story straight, because it isn't her story to tell. So then you find out that this isn't her husband, it's her boyfriend. And then you find out that this isn't really her boyfriend. They've only been talking for 3 months, and have never met in person. So these are some of the images on Tiffany's page that show said gentleman and her. And you can see she uses the same pictures over and over again. So I come in, I eventually get in the box, and you know me, I'm a question asker, because if it don't make sense, I'm trying to make sense of it. Correct, it ended up being a catfish. So I get in the box and I start asking questions, and Gypsy interrupts you so you can't get to your point. And she kept doing it over and over, and I lost it. I didn't lose it where I was cursing her out or anything, but it was like, Gypsy, will you shut up so I can talk to Tiffany? I understand you're her best friend, but let Tiffany answer. And she's like, she doesn't want to answer because she's sick of y'all. And I was like, but some of us are new. This is my first time here. Why are you going off? I'm just asking regular questions. Well, in the box comes someone who was there the day before or a couple of days before, and they have a friend in cybersecurity, and the person said that the person in cybersecurity looked up his information, and that the phone calls were coming from Mexico. Now, the guy in the pictures was clearly a white guy. It was no question. So now all red flags are coming up, because people in the comments were saying internet boyfriend and catfish. And Gypsy was like, it is not. We did a video call and I saw him and he looked Mexican. So then if he looked Mexican, did he look like the guy in the photos? Tiffany starts to say no, and Gypsy is like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. He was telling her that he loved her, and I trust him, and why are you trying to prevent her from getting to the life she wants? Who are you to judge? So then Gypsy asks me, how do you meet your man? And I start to say, he was giving me a ride to my appointment. And I'm about to tell the story, she cuts me off. The other young lady says, I met my husband in the grocery store. She cuts her off. So she doesn't get to actually tell the story. But I think we were making the point that we met them in person. I have met boyfriends that I've dated on the internet. I have absolutely no problem with that. But because there are so many romance scammers out there, you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure. Because with certain apps, you can ask for a telephone number from anywhere, especially the United States. You could be in Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, and get a U.S. looking telephone number and call people using the internet for free. So as people continue to question them, Gypsy is like, I've seen him, I've talked to him, I know him, I trust him. But then at some point, Gypsy starts to say things like, yes, he's Mexican, and I couldn't understand what he was saying, so Tiffany had to tell me what he was saying. Well, wait a minute. A minute ago, you told us that you spoke to him, that you heard him tell her that he loved her, that he wants to be with her. Now, I missed the part. They also at some point said that he was coming to get her, but got abandoned in Dayton, Ohio, because he ran out of gas. That when he got off work to come get her, he didn't go to the bank, so he was on the road with no money. They also said he has a house and a truck, and they've seen them both. So then, I'm being nosy, and then I come across this. The part I want to focus on was that she created a GoFundMe to say, I'm hoping to travel with my boyfriend. Well, if he has a really good, high-paying job, because the job she described was very high-paying, and a truck, where y'all traveling to? So she's like, Fiona, you never have to apologize about that. You don't have to explain it. So it's none of it is making sense to me. Okay? Now I am completely lost. But when you do a GoFundMe for something like that, so she's like, I need to get out of Kentucky. I hate Kentucky. I hate where I am. Now, Gypsy also made it sound like where she was dangerous. And then we find out that it's her brother's house, because she's like, that's not my child, that's my nephew. I'm at my brother's house. So, Gypsy, why were you making it sound like it was an emergency that she had to leave? So, then when I drop, because I'm not arguing with you ad nauseum when I'm trying to talk to Tiffany. So we get out the box, and Gypsy then she says about my story, which I didn't get to tell. Look, she got in the car with a guy. He could have drove her anywhere and hurt her, but she hooked up with him. And I was like, wait a minute, you are not going to mischaracterize my story that I didn't even get to tell. So I go right back up, and I was like, let me be clear. He was giving me a ride to a doctor's appointment. He worked for the company that works with my insurance company that will drive me to the appointment. I didn't get in the car with a random man. And no, we didn't hook up. I had his number because he had to call me to verify that I was where I said I was. And after we had this beautiful conversation, I'm like, I have your telephone number. And he was like, yeah, I want you to have it. I went to my appointment. He went back to work. He continued to pick me up, and we would talk from now and then. We didn't hook up that day. I didn't call him my boyfriend that day. It took several months. So for you to get up here and try to compare or try to downgrade the story of my relationship, and I was like, what is the comparison you're making? And she was like, well, you were all telling her that this doesn't sound safe or whatever, and she loves him. I get out the box again, because again, she's making my blood pressure rise. And then someone comes in. I have her name. I can't remember it now. And she starts bashing us, right? She's like, I don't understand why people in here are hating. If she's like, any of the people in here could have done a Google a reverse image search. She was like, and I just want to tell you, honey, that the man that you think you're talking to isn't the man. That the guy that you have in your photos has a fiance and 3 kids. There's lots of accounts in his name, but I believe that there's only one real account, and so the man that you think you're talking to isn't the man. And I wanted to smack the crap out of her, because I'm like, we already know that. You're coming up here telling us that we're bashing her and being mean about information we already all know, because Tiffany already said that the man she's talking to is Mexican and is not the person in the pictures. So my question is this: if you know that the man you're talking to isn't the man from the photos, why do you keep making videos of the man with the photos? Now, listening to Tiffany, I felt like there was diminished capacity. But that also could have been because Gypsy kept interrupting. No, I do not want to battle. Right. Why keep making videos and posts about a man that you know isn't the man you're talking to? So the girl is like, well, if you know it's not him, but perhaps you fell in love, so give him an opportunity to tell you, who he really is. Maybe he lied just to get to know you, and this could be your love story. And I'm sitting here, my eyes are rolling so hard, they're falling out of my face. And Gypsy's like, see, the way she came up here, and the girl is like, it's sometimes the tone that you use. And I'm sitting back just like, okay, just wait. Just wait. Just wait. So then, Gypsy starts getting on this girl's nerves. And she's like, I'm getting the feeling that the problem isn't Tiffany, it's Gypsy. And Gypsy's like, I don't give a F if they have a problem with me. This is my best friend, and I want to see her happy, and she's in Kentucky, and I'm in Kentucky, and I don't care what they have to say, rattle, rattle. I'm going to do anything I have to for my friend. So then at some point, Gypsy tells Tiffany, oh, they were able to get $400 for you. And the girl is like, Gypsy, you gotta let Tiffany talk. I'm trying to ask her questions, whatever. She ended up in the exact same place I ended up in, where the story stopped making sense. Gypsy is still running her mouth, changing the story. So I get back in the box. And I was like, I'm sorry. I know what it was. It was Smiley. Her name was Smiley. I'm like, Smiley, you came late to the party. So let me tell you what we know already, so that you can understand why we're saying what we're saying. Immediately, Gypsy wants to start interrupting. And Smiley's like, Gypsy, let her talk. And Gypsy's like, okay. Like, because of course this girl sounds like she's on their side. So I start to reveal to her that first of all, she's getting money from a church for her to do this. But that she wants her to lie to the church about what the money is for. I'm sorry. I don't care if the rest of the story is true. I have a problem right there. And so the church story goes as this. Gypsy says she went to her mother, who belongs to the church. Gypsy doesn't belong there. and told her mom the story that her friend had an emergency and needed to get home to her husband, and could the church help? Her mother goes to the church on Gypsy's story, and the church, according to Gypsy, has put together $400. And she told the girl, Tiffany, not to mention anything about the man. And Smiley is like, well, wait a minute. Is that true? And Gypsy's like, no, I went to my mom, again, telling the same story. And so Smiley is like, well, I go to church and I give my church money because we're supposed to be helping people. And now I got to question what my church is doing. If you're able to get this money for this story. Now Gypsy is mad because I am revealing the original lie that got us all stuck. Eventually, Smiley and Gypsy start going at it for the exact same reasons. The story keeps changing, whatever. And then a lady named Carmen comes flying in with her cake and says, Gypsy, I know you. Your name used to be such and such, and you were a part of the scam. And Smiley is like, yeah, who has the money from the church? And first, Gypsy says, I do. And then says, well, no, it's still at the church. Smiley says to Tiffany, I'm sorry, I think you're being scammed. I think she's going to get the money and she's not going to give it to you. Because she kept saying, I'm waiting for her to call the bus company. Well, she already told you that the bus would cost $182. But my thing is this, if the man is already in Dayton, Ohio, stuck at a gas station, what does she need a bus ticket for? Just give him the money to get to her and it's all said and done. That story went out the window about the man at the gas station. We're not even talking about that no more. So apparently somebody's apartment or house burned down. They were collecting money to help her. And then Gypsy here, under a different name, kept some of the money. And like I told Tiffany, if the man had gotten paid and the money was in the bank, he has an ATM card, he can get the money. And another young lady said to her, listen, I met my husband online, but the first time I was meeting him, I took somebody with me for safety. And this is Gypsy. I'll go with her and stay for a couple of days and make sure she's safe, and then I'll come home. Well, how come you're her best friend for years, according to you? So Smiley says, Gypsy, I'm going to ask Tiffany this question and I don't want you to answer. She's like, okay. She's like, Tiffany, how long have you been friends with Gypsy? Gypsy's ready. She's like, Gypsy, let Tiffany answer. Tiffany still don't say nothing. Gypsy's like, for a long time. She's like, Gypsy, let Tiffany answer. She asked Tiffany again. Gypsy, it's been years. And you hear Tiffany, it's been a long time. Well, when Carmen comes in and reveals who Gypsy really is, I don't know if Gypsy dropped or Tiffany dropped her, but I got accused of harassment and bullying. I love it. I'm not harassing, I'm not bullying, I'm telling the truth. So she drops me too. Well, when Gypsy drops and leaves, that gives Tiffany the ability to answer questions directly. And after about a minute, I asked to come back up. So she asks her, how long have you really known her? She had only known Gypsy for 3 days. You are doing all of this for somebody you met 3 days ago? Now I concur with Smiley. She was using your story to get clout off of. She was using your story to get money, and you wasn't going to see a dime of that money. And I also said to Smiley, somebody came up and already said the dude was from Mexico. That young lady came back up and was like, yes, I've already said the number is from Mexico. We already know that the person in the photos isn't the man she's talking to. It was absolutely insane. It was absolutely insane. I tell y'all all the time, listen carefully. Don't just go by the story. Don't just ask some critical questions. This woman was trying to get her quote-unquote best friend for years. And I want to say this. A lot of people were there that support me, that have my back, and I absolutely 100% appreciate it. I felt the love. I felt the support. It's what kept me going. Because I stayed there for 3 hours. And if anybody knows anything about me, even when I go into a live and I get in a box, I'm gone. Because I'm looking for scammers to watch. So I can come and talk to y'all about them. I don't sit in lives that long. I don't sit in lives in boxes and just kiki with people. I'm here for business. That's it. I'm not here to spend a lot of time with friends hanging out. Nah. Even with a scammer, unless I feel like there's additional information I can get out of watching them, I'm out. So for me to stay there for 3 hours, something about it just didn't ring true. And then when we learned the truth, really, all I could do was shake my head. And I was glad that I stayed. But I appreciated your support. I really did. I saw a lot of y'all in there. You were defending me, but you were also making very good points. Right. She tried to make it sound like, and when people were asking, like, are you safe where you are? She was like, yes. Do you have everything where you are? Yes. There was no emergency. She just wanted to meet her internet boyfriend. Chill a lot. You missed a lot. Good morning, Sarah. And I always want to say Risa. Let me do this because we all know I'd start getting messages from CJ if I didn't. But I gotta find it. We're having a digital after dark, May the 17th, 2025, at 8 p.m. That's this Saturday. If you cannot see it, it's on my page. But if you have an Android, swipe to the right. If you have Apple, put your finger on the screen. A menu will come up in here and tap on clear comments. And you can see everything. I don't have to cut the comments off. You can cut it off for yourself. Now, the goal of this Saturday was to have people who have a lot of experience with a scammer to come and give 10 to 15 minutes on their history, what has happened, and what they're doing now. Sharon has been kind enough to come and do that. I've only gotten one other person to agree. So if you know someone, and it does not have to be somebody I cover. I know a lot of people know about Gabby. A lot of people know about Lisa. A lot of people know about Amanda Bowden even, or Chef Carl, or Lori Jones, or the Drama Twins before it became a Gabby thing. Maggie even. Anybody you know that has that level of history. Kim as well. Thank you. Please send me a message with their name. Jordan Paul. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. That's what I want the live to be. But if I can't get enough people, we're going to put some money together to get CJ some G strings so he can, swing on the pole for us for 2 hours. Yeah, but I want to know who is coming to talk so that I can make sure that I give everybody enough time. So if you know, where's Kim been? I think that she had to get off the internet. I had to get off TikTok, not the internet. She had to get off TikTok. But her eviction is Wednesday morning. I kept saying the 17th. It's not. It's the 15th. Thank you, Sarah, and I appreciate. I'm going to skip out on that live. How come, Bella? They are living apparently in the camper that his mom has, so they no longer need the money for a hotel room. But he comes back every once in a while just to test the waters. He started this whole paranormal thing, and then he did something else. So, any name that you have of someone who knows at least some history and what's been going on with them, because there are a lot of new people. Right, Kim's court is the 15th. A lot of new people who want to come on our side, they don't know the history. At least some of it. So that they have a basis for understanding of why they're on anybody's list. Yeah, there are people on here who need genuine help. It's why I don't take anybody's word for it. I have to watch them myself and take notes. I don't take anybody else's word for it. Someone could say they're a scammer. I'm going to go watch for myself. Which is why I always give you guys the ad so you can watch for yourself. My thing is the 17th. Kim's court date is the 15th. That's why the dates got confusing. But my thing is going to be Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that's the plan. Please send me a DM. Or you can ask them to reach out to me. Or if you're not comfortable, you can give me their name and I'll reach out to them. How about you watch me and Q? Okay. I get recommendations all the time. Thank you, Pug Life. Never heard of them. There's so many on here. Like I said, I came across 2 this morning. One of them is international. I want y'all to understand there's an international... There are groups like us internationally. I have made friends with a group from the UK that does the exact... Well, they don't do what I do, but they stream their scammers in the UK. I've made friends with them, and I gift them because they're doing the good work. I came across another one from UK this morning, and she was asking for money to get lotion for her dermatitis on her neck, but her face told a very different story. Oh, okay, not that, Erica. Send it to me. Send me their live. Now, TikTok has changed so that, remember when I would say you have to send me the at to, you don't have to do that anymore. If I click on the app, on the live, it will tell me their name now. It says no account found, but it'll tell me their name. I think I've watched her, Bella. I think I've watched her, but not enough to talk about it. Oh, okay, Erica. Amanda Bowden, she hasn't been on in a really long time. I think she got sick of trying. Okay, Vampry. And please understand that I do get tons of messages. And so I don't look at all of them all the time. Oh, one other great announcement. On the YouTube channel, I was trying to just go in order, and there's still room for that. But I have now made playlists. So now there's one for the month of May. And now I'm going to just upload. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Maggie getting banned. I am going to, like, when I get off this live today, after my nap, I'm going to upload, I believe I have to do Wednesday, the sub live from last night, and today. But it will all be done today, so that when I go live that day, I will post it. That way you're not trying to, like, what I said 2 months ago may be completely different to what's happening now. So I still have to do most of the month of April, but going forward, you'll get the live that day. So if somebody misses it, they'll be able to see it that afternoon. Bree is on all the time. I talk about her regularly, but I just left her out this time because I try to cover, I try to cover 9 every day except for Friday. Okay, Taurus, good. So that's what I'm doing. So the first 2 lives of May are already there, and I have to do Wednesday, last night, and today. Takes a little bit of time to edit it so it doesn't I don't get in trouble on YouTube. Her Queen 2019, that's not a new account, I don't think. That's the account that I got the photos of her fiance from. Reborn Mama got banana, I think. And that's probably why she's on Her Queen 2019. Yep, they did. And if you know, Maggie's now changed her beg to calling it tips, as if that's going to stop SSI. You're still getting money, my dear. Annie Mercon? Or Annie Mercon? The one from Maine? Or wherever up north? Wow. I haven't seen her on, and I was wondering where she was. But I'm going to have to go look that up. I don't even know where to look it up, but wow. Yeah, because you're finding out that it's coming. It's still income, correct. Annie Mercon? No, she's not a young girl. She's a mom. Well, I'm going to go see if I can find out if it's true or not. Okay, it's already 8:30. Let's move on. Let's talk Gabby, because it's going to kind of be quick. Most of y'all know this story. She has a twin named Danny, and they used to create a lot of drama between the two of them, and both of them wanted to be top dog. And they were splitting their support because people wanted to support both of them, and they basically got to the point where people had to choose one twin or the other. Danny kind of toned down after a while, and Gabby has been ramping up ever since. She is not a scammer in the traditional sense of she wants money off of here, but more about the fact that she's a liar. She's manipulative. I don't like how she treats her husband or her son, for that matter. And she says her son is nonverbal and autistic, but he talks all the time. Is he delayed? Yes. Nonverbal? No. But I think she wanted to put labels on him because she can get a check. She can get sympathy and empathy. And that's what she's addicted to. She's addicted to people watching her. What she cannot handle is that with being that open with your life, you are bound to get criticism. That's how it works. And especially with how deplorable she is when it comes to her son and the way she treats her husband, people for sure are going to have stuff to say. I've said this multiple times. If you cannot handle it, turn the camera off. But the other day pissed me off to no end. I come on, she's on, and she's sitting on the couch. And she either has like an adult coloring book or diamond art or something. And then all of a sudden, I find her like this. Over and over and over again, she would burst into tears, saying that her anxiety was on 100. She called her husband and asked him to come home right now. She'd go back to whatever was in her lap, and then she'd burst into tears again. And she kept trying to tell the audience she was hearing things. It was outrageous. Now, for people who actually suffer from anxiety, the last thing you want to do is show the world your panic attack. That's the last thing you want to do. But she kept peeking at the camera. And for me, you know how some of them come on here and say they have cancer in their line and it pisses people off? That pisses me off. And she kept doing it over and over and over again. And then the next morning, which was Mother's Day, you would think that Saturday night never happened. She was joyful and happy and, talking to Cam and asking him things. And it literally was night and day. She's doing it all for show. She's doing it all for attention. And people were like, did you go to the hospital last night? She wouldn't even acknowledge those comments. Why? Because it really wasn't a real thing to begin with. You might have been upset because people are talking about you and people are questioning your motives and people are questioning your mothering. I can understand that getting overwhelming especially with the amount that she gets. But all she has to do is cut the camera off. The fact that you needed to have a panic attack on live tells me it's not real. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you're having a heart attack. You feel like the world is caving in on you. The last thing you want is an audience. And I know because I suffered from them. I was in my mid-20s when it started. No, early 20s when it started. And I kept going to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. And eventually a doctor was like, you need cognitive therapy. And I thought, I was dumb. And I thought like, well, are you going to refer me? Like, I thought it was physical therapy. Don't ask me why. But I was in the midst of a panic attack. I finally got medication, and I would have the panic attack, take the medication, and I would need to sleep it off. But even when I woke up, I wasn't like, hey, so how's everybody today? It's Mother's Day, and I'm having a great day, and this is my child. That wasn't the next day. Right. Her sister went in the hospital, so she had to play it up because her sister was getting attention for being legitimately ill. I'm tired of her. I'm tired of her using diagnoses to get empathy. I'm tired of her pretending to have mental illnesses. And I think she does it online so that she has proof for her Social Security case. You shouldn't have to do that to maintain your Social Security. Your act is no different than Josh and Ida and their electric bill. For me, it's no different. I don't know how Aaron lives with it either. I really don't. Like, he works all day. She's been home all day. She does a little door dashing, I think, here and there. But she'll be online. He will come in, and it was like 12:30 in the morning. Her son was still awake, and he had to come home, put the baby to bed, and clean up. All the time she's standing on live and annoyed if he comes in the camera or asks her a question. Susie, I agree. But she's not losing it because of what people are saying on TikTok. That anxiety attack, the way that it happened was phony. And why do you keep looking at the camera? I honestly think he has a loving parent. I think his father loves him. And wait, I'm not going to say that she doesn't love him. But everything and everybody is a prop to her. I literally think of the Kardashians when I think of her. White Sox, find somewhere to go, buddy. Because Kira does not want to be bothered. Oh, wow. So now he's licking her and she's letting it happen. The moment he does anything up, there it is. Now she's hissing at him. White Sox, please come over here. Come on. Come on, buddy. Yep, I know. Come on. Yep, I know. She was nice to you for all of 1 second. Okay. Let's move on. Come on, White Sox. Oh, So Joe the Humble isn't new. He isn't even new to me, but I've never talked about him before. Hi, buddy. You can't be here, though, because mommy got to do what she got to do, okay? Come sit down. Come sit down. Come on. Come sit down. You saying hi to everybody? Come sit down. Thank you. I have the same feeling, Missy. Is it Missy? Yeah, I struggle. There's some people I struggle to watch, and he was one of them. Well, I guess a couple of things happened to him. So one thing that happened was that he lost white socks. Please stop hitting the phone. He lost his main account. So now I guess he's on his backup. Wait, where are the notes about? Oh, I know where they are. I'm telling you, using two different notebooks is a lot. So apparently he lost his main account and now he's on his backup account. And he is angry because I guess, and he blames TikTok for this, and not just TikTok, the audience. He blames TikTok, the company, that he was like 5150 hospitalized for, I believe it was 5 days, and they took his dog away for 5 days. And he got out. And he tried to allude to the fact that he got out because he's smarter than everybody else. But now everybody is going to pay, including TikTok, the company. Sir, they could care less about you, okay? Why he has to GoFundMe for 100,000 but dropped it down to 5? Yeah, right. He is I don't know if narcissist is the right label. But he thinks way too highly of himself. There is zero humility about him. Zero. Good. You have to maintain a sense of humbleness. He has zero. So he has 33,000 followers on his. This is his backup. He follows no one. And I wrote down, wow, your rants gave you 33,000 followers on your backup and you didn't follow a single person? Oh, okay. He was threatening TikTok and the people on TikTok. He, of course, claims that he sent everybody's info to his pro bono lawyer. To do what? To do what? All because you got put in a mental institution for 5 days? Sir, based on some of the rants I saw you do, I am not surprised. I am not surprised. And the 5150, and I'm not sure if that's what it was done, but the 5150 is usually 72 hours. You was there for 5 days, sir. That is not a short stay. Good morning, everyone. Anybody coming in? He claims he has a secret YouTube that he created for this moment. That because he was hospitalized, something good came out of it. He reconnected with a female family member and she helped him get out. My thing is this, it wasn't jail. You didn't have to pay bail. You just had to seem lucid enough. And I'm sure they made recommendations for who to go see. They might have even put you on medication. But she's come back. Now she's his ride or die, his rock. Where's she been all this time? So they reconnected because of this. And that everybody did him a favor by putting him in the facility. And he was like, she did the legwork to get him out. Then, of course, he has to put on his Jesus cloak. He thanks them that he's still stable. And people who get him locked away are going to pay for it. He says that TikTok is upset that he earned $45,000 from 60-second videos. Then, sir, why are you living outside? He does me that. Yeah. He's another one that feels like the whole world owes him, and he's going to fix everything by suing everybody. What's your valid question, Chuck? Yeah, he has no connection to Humble. Mikey, I don't know anything about that phone call, but she was on live this morning. She will not show her background because pictures have been shown of her inside of a trap house. Oh, you were commenting to me. Oh, okay. She's in a trap house. She got 300 and something from a nurse over the course of last week, which is why she didn't need to be on. But she was on crying this morning that she still hasn't eaten. How are you standing if you haven't eaten all this time? But we know you got 300. She sent a voicemail to somebody who refused to give her money, and it was disgusting. And, this morning she got on twice to beg for $20. She's still around. But if this keeps up, I don't know. And then she said this. Then Lisa said, I can't wait to go home. I can't wait for my parents to get a place so I can go home. So that's her plan. Now, I don't know if that's their plan, but her plan is that when they get an apartment, she's going to move in. Just so y'all know. She's not going to go to rehab. Hilarious. So that's the Lisa update. Okay. So you would think that after that Saturday with Gypsy and Tiffany, I would have had enough. But no, my day didn't end there. I ended up having to talk to this person. Now, most people know him as Not the One. His name is Mike or whatever. Now, at one point, Mike would be what some people would call awareness. And I was still kind of new to it. And so I would go in, I would learn things, and I was like a faithful supporter. He went live, I would go in the same way I would go in with Mexican Homie or All for One or Penny Fairy. I was still trying to learn the trade and the tricks of the trade. You were in the live. Don't be livid. Don't be livid. I'm not going to let anybody up right now until I finish my commentary. But after, I will let people up, okay? So bear with me. So I'm scrolling. And I don't understand why people don't understand that when you scroll, you end up in places. It's not like I went to your live in particular. I was scrolling. But something I don't do that others choose to do is they will stream somebody else's live. Now, sometimes I appreciate it if I've been blocked, right? But I don't do that here. I don't make that my content. Because it's my feeling that if you want to watch them and you haven't been blocked, you can go in and watch them yourself. I mean, quite frankly, you could have 35 burners, and anybody that blocks you, you can still go in and watch. And in order to not get blocked, you can watch from the window. So it never struck me as that's what I needed to do to prove my point. And sometimes when I'm in a live where they're showing somebody else, like I know when I think we're still doing the Gabby blackout, but they would be doing commentary during the live and I couldn't hear her. And that's what made me stop. I had to watch her from the window because I got sick of I couldn't hear what she was saying because of all the commentary. So that's one of the reasons why I don't do it. And I also don't feel like I need to. Half the time, y'all is in the live with me when it's happening. Why do you need to see me show it? But whatever. But he was showing two quote-unquote awareness creators. And so I just stopped, right? He didn't notice me when I first went in. I swiped out because that's what I do by mistake all the time. And I came back in because I wanted to hear his commentary. And he called me fake. He was like, oh, here goes another one. She's digital is fake. What? Fake where? Fake how? I was like, what? But Miss won't be intimidated. I went in the box. What are you talking about, fake? Fake what? So he said, you do subs. And I do. And I've explained it to y'all. I explained it to them. How the sub thing came about. And I said this when it first started happening, that I wasn't ready for subs. Because in my mind, when you have people who are subscribing to your channel, you owe them something. I was struggling to get the YouTube done. I still haven't gotten to the point where I clip my lives and post them. I could do 1-minute videos 35 times a day. I still haven't even gotten that sophisticated, right? Because I spend all my time watching scammers. Well, not all my time, but the time I dedicate to it, that's what I'm doing. So when I went through the process behind the scenes, I thought I had to turn it on. I didn't know it came on automatically. But when there was 2 or 3 people in there, I kind of saw it and was like, Jesus Christ. I never said anything about it. I didn't even know that little box on the bottom was for you to sign up for subs, because I don't see that when I'm live. I don't see that at all. I didn't know that it came up on my account. If you went to my account, I didn't know none of it. I'm going to be honest. I really didn't. But when I got to 12, I was like, okay. They clearly appreciate what I do. I need to appreciate them. So I started the chat so that we could communicate with each other more rapidly, right? Share lives, do all of those things. And then when it got larger, I was like, okay, now I got to do something else. So I started the 30-minute Sunday night sub live. And that's where they ask me questions. We talk about strategy. They do get a look at who I'm going to talk about Monday, but we don't do awareness, right? And I tell people all the time, you do not need to sub. I'm not going to say anything there that I'm not going to say in the live. It's not a requirement. And I don't mention it in terms of, please come subscribe. I don't. So I said I do, and I explained all of this. What's the problem? So, as usual, he moved the goalpost. He said, "You're a beggar." What do I beg about? He was like, "You beg for the daily heart meat." Oh, wait, let me say something. He said that he didn't care that I donated the sub money. What do you mean you don't care? And someone in the comments said it's all a money grab. How can it be a money grab if I'm not getting any money? Then he tried to say to me, you know that the nonprofits that you're giving to are only using 20% of what you give. That's my responsibility? Hold on, scare me. Give me a minute. That's my responsibility? That's what the nonprofits do? That's my job? So then he moved the goalpost and said, you ask for your daily heart me. And I said to his, because this was really for his audience, although again, understand that I saw y'all and I appreciated y'all because y'all came through for me. He said they could donate to their community. And I said, you know, because you go live, that the algorithm records things like Daily Heart Me, likes, and gifts to push you onto the FYP. That is my goal, is the FYP. Because I'm trying to reach people who don't know that I'm here. When I first started, I could never get on the FYP. Because they tell you that. They tell you where the people come from that are in your life. I could never get on the FYP. So I started playing the TikTok game. Daily Heart Me. Make sure you like. And I said to him, the real thing that I beg for is likes. I don't care about the number at the end. I'm trying to make sure that I save the live from being bananaed. And I also try to make sure that I end up on the FYP. And his retort to me was, well, why didn't Mexican Homie have to do that? Again, why does that matter to me? I'm worried about my platform. I can't tell you. I don't show other people. You do. Do I have a right to say, well, I don't do that, so I think what he does is wrong? No. It's his platform. He can do what he wants on it. Why you keep moving the goalposts? So then he said to me, well, what do you think about what the beggars think? Why on God's green earth would I ever care what a beggar thought about me? Why? Because I say the daily heart me, that's a penny. And again, anybody who sees me in anybody else's live, they all know that I turn around and I take that money and I exchange it and gift it to other people. But if you're going to call me a beggar for doing that, be my guest. I almost cursed, but I stopped myself. Be my guest. So a couple of people got in the box and they were defending me, and he was going back and forth with people in the comments. Listen, I said to him, I said, you've changed your platform. You've become the villain of awareness. Be my guest. But I've never said anything about you. I don't talk about you. I don't bring you up. Nothing. You do what you want to do. I'm over here in the corner minding my business. But if you're going to call me fake, I'm going to need you to answer. So he was like, I was calling you fake awareness. You didn't say that, though. So then he was like, you didn't ask for the context. What? I'm responsible for asking you for the context of the words you use to describe me to your audience? I have to ask for the context. You called me fake and I asked you to tell me why I'm fake. Now again, you're going to move the goalpost. And at one point, he's like, I record all of your lives. So what? Other people record my lives. I don't care. I stand on what I do. Why? Because I put it on YouTube myself. If I felt like I had something to hide, why would it be on YouTube? And when I say that I edit, I really edit the beginning and the end. That's what I edit. The beginning and the end. I don't change anything in the middle. There was one where a woman was telling all of her business about her and her child, and I was like, maybe I don't want to post all of that because she gave a lot of personal information. But the rest of it, what happens? I don't edit. So if I wasn't prepared to stand 10 toes down, why would I be posting it on YouTube? So then at one point I said to him, I have subs, I asked for the Daily Heartney, and I asked for likes. Now what? I acquiesce to everything you've just said. Now what? He was like, I'm going to call you a beggar. I said, okay, now what? Nothing about my platform is going to change. You're going to call me a beggar. The scammers are going to be able to say that I'm doing something or I'm asking for a cent the 3 times a day that I go live. I said I give 9 hours a week. 9 hours. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But on average, I give 9 hours a week and expect nothing for it. That doesn't include the amount of time I take watching. That doesn't include the time that I take to make the graphics. It doesn't include the research that I do behind the scenes. But I talk for 9 hours a week and expect nothing. But you're going to call me a beggar for a penny? I'm okay with that. And somebody in the comments said something like, I guess the win goes to digital, or I guess digital has to win. It was something like that. I'm still waiting for what's next. And in that moment, he turns to somebody in the comments named RT and starts talking about how they're a P3DO. And I was like, and on that note, I'm leaving. Because I don't want my name connected to what you're talking about. He's like, I'm not talking to you. Exactly. So I'm leaving. And I left. And not only did I leave the box, I left the live. There are worse things happening on this app than me saying, give me your Daily Heartney. But if you want to make that your platform, be my guest. Because you recording me and you talking about me is only putting my name out there further. It's only making people want to come in here and hear what I'm talking about. So be my guest. You want to record me? Be my guest. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not going to be intimidated by you. I'm not some weak woman sitting here alone without backup. Y'all heard, mister. I live in Florida. So, this is what's interesting now. So, yesterday, he's on live, again, railing about something. And he brings up this RT person and how they're, in his opinion, a P3DO. I don't even know who he's talking about. But as usual, guess who he calls? The cops. Now, this was an observation I had that I had never said to anybody before. He would tell people to pull up, and then the next thing I know, he was at his local police station. That doesn't make sense to me. But that's what you do. That's your business. I just found it odd. You never hear me say to anybody pull up, because I don't have that level of drama here. You don't like me, I'm okay with that. You don't like what I do, I'm okay with that. What do I need to tell you to pull up for? For what? I'm a grown woman. I don't have to talk in that childish way. Because to me, that's childish. What am I going to meet you for? This is an app. I don't go real life. I don't dox anybody. Even the scammers, I don't do that with. People will send me somebody's location, address, whatever. I may say the state they're in. I might even say the city. But I'm not doxing anybody's address, telephone number, none of that. Not even to the people who have come for me do I do that. Because I don't think it's right. But here he is on the phone with the police trying to get, I don't know what he was trying to get, but he kept calling it a receipt. He proved that the police don't care, that it's not a crime, but he thinks that it should be, and so therefore he's decided that it's wrong. Now help me understand something. How is that any different than what I do? And what was interesting was while he was coming at me for the Daily Heart Me, his gifts were on. And somebody said to him, well, if that's how you feel, turn your gifts off. And he was like, I never asked for gifts. Well, Mexican Homies turns his off. If that's the standard, turn yours off. But I heard you yourself say that if you had to do all of the work that I do, that it would be a full-time job and you could understand why people would want to be paid. And I give you that challenge. I want you to do your own research, watch for yourself, and talk for 9 hours a week without using a video, a recording, or somebody else's live. And then tell me if you would do all of that and not ask for a penny. A penny. A penny that doesn't go in my pocket. But I give to other people so they feel encouraged. Even people who are new. Even people who I'm skeptical about. If they are bringing attention to somebody who I think is a scammer, sorry, they get the penny. Now, if I feel like they're doing it to try to advance themselves, I'm out. But I do it to the new people so they feel encouraged. I do it to the people who have been doing it for a long time so they feel encouraged. I can't always stay and sit there for 2 or 3 hours, but I want you to keep doing what you're doing. So if I'm going to be called a beggar for that, be my guest. What are you going to do with that? Where does that get you or me? Well, it might get me more views. I'm here for it. But the idea that you're going to call me fake, but you have nothing fake about me to say, and then you want me to provide you the context. But then yesterday, when RT apparently was trying to give context, you said you don't care about the context. But you wanted me to care about it. You wanted me to ask you for it. Don't be a hypocrite, sir. I've never come for you. I've never talked about you. You changed up your platform. I quietly left. I didn't even unfollow him right away because I didn't want any smoke. I wanted to stay out of his way. But you've decided to become the villain of what you consider awareness, even though I don't claim that anymore, because the stuff done in the name of awareness I find disgusting. So I raise the consciousness. I do enlightenment. But if you want to record me, thank you. It's okay, fuck it. I won't be intimidated. I won't be. Not by anybody. To stop what I'm doing. If you find that me asking for the daily heart me and likes is a step too far, go follow somebody else or turn your own light on and go live. If you find that me giving, oh, and he tried to bring up the fact that I have group text, like the group text for the people who sub. What's wrong with that? I said it's no different than Discord, and he was like, I don't like that either. So the things you don't like, I'm not allowed to do. Sir, you are not my moral compass. I have my own. Okay, I'm gonna break my rule, but it's scammy. She always lets me up, so I have to let her up. Come on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. What a can of worms.
Yeah,
Since this is your platform, I'm going to stay as respectful as I can towards him.
thank you.
Um, M- Mike's problem is that he is not accepted anywhere on TikTok.
Correct.
Mike gets very angry because there are people that have platforms here that are successful doing what they do. And because creators and supporters of those platforms see him for what he is, which is, I mean, people use the term cyberbully and harassment and all that,
Right.
a lot of times when it doesn't exist.
Correct.
But he is a poster child for all of those words and the definitions.
Correct.
He is. I have never seen somebody. I've never seen somebody on TikTok that claims to be such a tough guy and is constantly calling people to come pull up and all of these things. Yet the guy has like a direct line, like Batman, to the police.
And you
I
could
mean,
hear that the police officer was annoyed.
absolutely, absolutely. And he goes after people that have integrity. He tries to whip up type of a some type of drama, some type of a backstory that doesn't exist, and that's how he spends his time on here. If he actually used his powers of evil for good, he could actually get something done on this app with calling out beggars. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what. In a lot of ways, he's no better than them. He, you know, he's always a victim. He's a victim, and he constantly needs, the attention of like the 50 people that go in his lives. And I question their morality for the fact that they will sit in there and they will see him do this shit. You know, wasting resources like he does by calling the cops every time he gets butt hurt by somebody, or because he creates some story in his head that he thinks is the truth about somebody. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's dangerous. And you know what? What's today? May, whatever the hell, 12th or something. I
Yes.
guarantee you, within a year, we're not even going to be hearing from him because he's going to be incarcerated. Because his phone calls and his threats are getting so much more graphic and vile.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be his biggest downfall. We can say all we want about this guy. We see what he does online. My favorite thing he always flexes is, oh, well, I record all your lives. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Make
Right.
sure you repost them so, our message about beggars gets out. and do it. I mean, that's the best thing that he could do. He's actually helping the awareness community, and I thank him for that. But there's going to be one time soon that he's going to keep doing this shit, and the cops are finally going to say this dude needs a 5150 because he's
Something.
calling way too many times. His threats are atrocious to people, and this guy needs to be observed for a good 72 hours because he is definitely lacking some social skills that most humans have. And he doesn't know when that line is crossed, and he
Right.
crossed that line months ago with people. And it's only time. It's only like I say this so many times when it comes to beggars and all that online. Patience. Just have patience because eventually they are going to be their own demise.
Yep.
And with him getting worse and worse, and how many people did you see in here were saying that I used to follow him, but I stopped following him?
Yeah.
That's the greatest. That's the greatest defense against what these people stand for, and that's just not giving them the views. I will watch him sometimes from the outside, just to hear what bullshit he's streaming, and it's his only his job on here is to just try to cause problems for people. He's not doing anything good. Everybody that he's called out for being a beggar on TikTok in awareness, he's doing it just because he wants to bring attention to himself.
Yep.
Everybody that follows you, everybody that follows me, everybody that follows the people that he has tried to take down in awareness, we're still here
Yeah.
because people that know that Mike's flapping his gums for no other reason than to try to get some more views and to try to stir up drama where it's not. And he can stay in his little corner of TikTok and do his thing. He could say what he wants. With you, I had heard that you were in a box with him. He acts like when you talk to beggars and when people talk to them in boxes, and I think about especially with Jen, you would talk to her in a box and she wouldn't even be listening.
Hmm.
She would be thinking of the next thing that she's going to say. And that's exactly what he does. He doesn't stay on topic. He can't have an adult conversation. He interrupts all the time. He has all of those same tendencies that beggars on this app have. And I'm going to say it, little children, because trying to keep people on one topic like him is impossible, which leads to not being able to have any type of adult conversation. And
But
those
he
are the
kept
kind of,
moving the goalposts for me.
oh my God, yeah, yeah. Well, but they do that, especially Mike, when you've proven him wrong, and since you've done that, he's got to go to the next 10-yard line.
Right.
Because now he's got to come up with something else that he's going to throw against a wall and see if the shit sticks. And then you prove him wrong then, and he's got to move the goalpost again because he'll never admit when he's wrong. He'll never admit when he puts a claim out there or an opinion, as he likes to say, is wrong. And when he is proven wrong, he won't comment on it and he'll just go to the next thing.
Right. And
You know?
in my case, I was like, am I doing what? Like, what's going to happen? Because you don't agree with the way that I do it. Do you think I'm going to change my platform for you? To get your opinion?
Exactly. For this guy who lives with his mom. I mean, come on. Come
Yeah.
on. And then the last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to drop because I could go on for hours about this, and I refuse to let him waste any more of my brain cells. I was watching him a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about awareness and, people doing this wrong in his opinion and all that. And he was talking about how awareness are bullies and they're mean and this and that, and they do stuff. They take they go real life by following these people and taking videos. And in the next breath, he's calling out somebody for taking videos of Oh God, what are their two names? Who are those? The husband and wife that live in their car, and he's always lying about a job and
Tim
um,
and Angela?
yes. So he's talking about the horrible person that took videos of them. Okay, when he was supposed to be working and he wasn't, and so then he goes ahead and he shows that video, even though he's against the fact that somebody took the video, but he shows it multiple times. And then the best thing is, after he called awareness people just a bunch of bullies, he sat there for 5 minutes making fun of Tim's size and talking about how he has to go sideways into his car because he's too big. And then he showed
Wow.
his wife and started making pig noises. So
Wow.
this is the hypocrite that those 50 people over there that are in his lives support. And there's one thing I can't stand is when somebody calls somebody out for something that they don't think is right,
And then
and
they
yet
do.
they do the same thing.
Yes. Yes.
So, Mikey, as I like to say to people like you, it's time for you to take a chair and go sit in the back row.
Oop. Oop.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you. Okay, CJ, don't beat me up, but I gotta do it because I want to move on. I don't want to have to talk about him ever again. Good morning.
I'm so sorry, but
It's
I
no
want to keep.
problem.
I was in that live and I was so pissed the way he treated you. He is not a man. I
No.
have never seen anybody treat so many people horribly, but you were defending yourself. He does. He obviously doesn't watch you, Dee,
Right.
because everybody knows your intentions are so good. I've been watching you from the beginning. I've been watching him for about a year. I really don't watch him anymore because he's changed his platform and he's just rude. He's
Hmm.
If I was in his town, I would have pulled up. I was so mad at him the way he treated you and disrespected you. He didn't let you get a word in, and he obviously does not watch you.
Well,
I
he's
was
listening to other people. He sees something and he runs with it, and that's why I'm not gonna allow you to say that I'm fake or put us. He calls it a false jacket on me.
I was just scamming through, or just scamming. I was just going through my lives, and I saw that you were on. I thought, well, oh wow, I didn't know you guys were in a box together. And when I heard he said you were fake, and then he just went on and on. He wouldn't let you explain anything. If I was in this town, I would have pulled up. I was so mad. I couldn't get out of my car fast enough. It pissed me off. a Good
I'm
30 minutes.
sorry. Oop, we can't hear you. Gambler, we can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna drop. No, it's still really bad. I mean, I could hear what you said, but it's still really bad. Okay, I'll just connect so I can keep going. All right, thank you though. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And again, I want to thank everybody who was there to support me. I'm never gonna talk about this again. I intend for it to die here. You can continue to record me, post it on your YouTube, sir. Um, Help me out with the views. I appreciate it. Um, I'm unflappable. So this is where it ends for me. I just wanted to explain it to everybody because I know some people came in at the end. People were like, "What were you doing in the box with him?" Because they heard I was in the box with him, and yeah, it wasn't a kind visit. But I said what I said. I stand on what I said. I continue to stand on what I do. Now, and I've said this to the mods, the subs, I'm going to say it to everybody. Actually, I'm going to say it again because I've said it multiple times. If you find that there's something about my platform that you wish I did or didn't do, or you don't like something or whatever the case may be, you can tell me. I can always grow. I can always get better, right? And you don't know what you don't know. So I'm not the kind of person who's like, I don't care what anybody has to say. That's not it. But if you are going to just rail on me based on things you've heard other people say, based on the fact that you don't like what I do or how I do it, and there's no concrete, um, like constructive criticism where we could move forward, you could kick rocks. Thank you guys. You could kick rocks. I don't want to hear it. And I said to Mr. Didi, I said, listen, I said the only thing he didn't get was if you don't feed me, fund me, or F me, your opinion of me doesn't matter. That's the only thing I left out. I thought about saying it and I was like, but what? But again, it was. I also really just want to say thank you for the support. I really do. I really appreciated it because it's never happened before. So I love the love. I really do appreciate it and I acknowledge it. Okay, let's get this off the screen. Let's go on to Miss Blue Eyes, who claims that she is in a sober house. Her name is Andrea Marie Elkins. Now, how do I know? Because that's what she uses as her abs of cash name. I didn't go look for it. I've been calling her Blue Eyes for forever until I noticed that. So she claims that she works, I think she said telemarketing, but what she said was that her entire check goes to rent. That's your next future wife? Now, why would a sober house who's trying to help you get on your feet take your entire check? What's the point of that? But this is the other thing. You go to sleep there every day. So you mean to tell me you're just sleeping on a mattress? You know, she wants a pillow top for her sober house bed. She wants a comforter and sheets and home cleaning supplies, a mattress topper because the bed is hard. Like, now, this is something interesting. She says she's on Subox subs. Let's put it that way. There is a way to overtake that. No fighting in the comments. I don't know if she's related to Carol. I haven't heard anything of the sort. I'm lagging? I'm probably being reported. Y'all, no fighting in the comments. If there's a problem, send me a message. Oh, okay. But she claimed that she had gone on an interview to get a new job that paid more, paid better. Now, before this sober house, I realized that she was in a relationship with somebody. Are you trying to get her house ready for when you get out? Like, it just doesn't seem right. You are, thank you, Kate girl. You are asking for things that don't even make sense. It's food, cleaning supply. Like, are you trying to take care of your girlfriend's life? She nods out. Now, she says she's on subs. You can overtake those and replace your rug of choice with that. Because the way she acts on live, that is not a clean individual. I'm sorry. It's just not. Wait, why? Oh, that's why. I'm like, why can't I see the comments? Correct. What is your name? Luna Louise. There's no reason why she needs everything that she's asking for every day. Oh, yeah, I'm not calling it sleepy. It's not sleepy, it's nodding out. There's a huge difference. Oh, thank you, Brenda Lee. Mind you, I'm in there and no one is saying a single word. And when somebody said a sober house will provide those things, she just chose to ignore it. Like, I'm still going to ask. And I think some people want to help people so badly that are like in recovery, they've just started. But you got to understand something, and I've said this a long time. To be an addict for any length of time requires that you are a hustler. You know how to ask for what you need to ask for in order to get it. I told y'all for months, when Lisa says food and cigarettes, that is code word for rugs. And I also told y'all a long time ago about this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all know what it feels like to be hungry, to be thirsty, to be hot, to be cold. So when someone uses those words, we automatically connect to that on a basic level. So I immediately start to remember, even subconsciously, when I was hungry. Even if hadn't eaten, it wasn't that I hadn't eaten for a week. It was that I skipped breakfast and lunch, and now at dinner I'm ravenous. I connect to that on a basic level. I used to have to stand outside and wait for the bus in the middle of winter. I know what it's like when it's cold. I know when it's August and it's 103 degrees and no amount of AC and fan is going to keep me cool. Or I've been to the beach. We have all experienced those things. It's why they use them. Because if that, like I said, if they came up here and was like, I need $300 in rugs. Now, will some stupid people send them the money? Yes. But for the most part, people would be like, no, I'm not doing that. They even use cigarettes. Because cigarettes, for people who smoke, feel like a need, like I feel food is a need. It's all code. So when you tell me that you've been sober, what did you say, 5 months? You haven't been far enough away for you to lose your hustling skills. And that's what I think has happened. She's using them same hustling skills. Why she's doing it, I don't know. Mind you, she's on the bus going to work, still begging. Why are you begging on the way to work? You don't even need any of the things you're asking for on your way to work. And we all know you're going to get home from work and do the same thing. Why? And let's be clear. She wants you to send the money to her apps of cash and their cousins. She doesn't want you to send the stuff. She'll say, "Oh yeah, you can send it. I have a Amazon wish list and a Walmart wish list, and I have this apps of cash and her cousins." But that's what she wants you to send it to. Right. She wants makeup. Girl, you should still be concentrating on making sure that you're going to, NA meetings 3 days a week, and you're worried about makeup? Oh, she was begging on the steps of her work? Yeah, I'm sorry. Something about that isn't right. Something about it isn't right. Her name is there, so you can watch her for yourself. Correct. They get food stamps. Ooh. Oh, I said I was going to do her today? Huh. Okay, hold on. Let's look at the pictures. Did I? That's weird. Okay, hold on. Okay, I didn't. All right. I didn't take her. Okay. Misty Ann Carol Sue, whatever you want to call her. She is up here because she did the deplorable thing. And when they do it and I catch it, I'm going to talk about it. So if we recall, what was it, 2 weeks ago, she was getting ready to get evicted and she had to come up with $400 right away? Well, Carol is really quick to forget the last time she got help, as they call it. Because, and a lot of them have that sudden loss of memory. They'll be like, "That happened so long ago." Girl, it was just 2 weeks ago. What do you mean so long ago? But she's back asking for money for food. What? Yeah, she said she owed $400. They gave her a letter that said if she didn't pay it, they were going to start eviction process. It was just a letter to quit. It wasn't even, and he hadn't actually filed for the eviction. And she was able to get the money by begging. She is very mean and rude. Yes, she does. She don't like me, though. She'd be like, "Get that bitch out of here." As if I don't have a burner to go watch. But you keep unblocking me just so you can yell to block me. I love it. Yeah, she could sing all right. She can sing all right. And that's what I wrote. I'm like, didn't these same people just give you $400? But let me tell y'all, if you don't know her, she was able to convince her quote unquote friends and family to send her 300 plus a week so she could stay in this nice hotel. And she did that promising that she would pay them back when she got her disability. She got her disability and she told all of them to kick rocks. She was like, "If you gave to me, you should have gave out of the kindness of your heart." The fact that people are still giving her money, like, is everybody new? But I know they're not. But if after I gave you money and you promised to pay me back and then you didn't, and I'm still giving you money, I have an igloo to sell you here in Florida. And I'm able to keep it cold outside with nothing. Let me hold your hand with a napkin in between and let you know that somebody needs to come and take over your financial um, situation because you're sending money into the garbage. What do you mean? She gets her disability, and I proved to y'all last time that when she was asking for that $400 and she was explaining that in July she was going to get more money so it wouldn't be a problem. The letter she received from Social Security to tell her that said, due to your reduction in income. That's because they were counting her TikTok money, her gifts when they made the decision to only give her seven and some change because she was getting so much money that way. And so then she went to them because it slowed down because people were bringing awareness, and they were able to see that she wasn't getting as much money, and so they increased it. But when I asked her to reread the letter, she pulled it up, she saw what it actually said, and then refused to read it again. Ha! But y'all are still giving her money. And I said, when are you getting your food stamps? But then while she was on live, she was doing a Walmart order and completely ignored her chat. And then all of a sudden, she just ended. So did somebody send her enough money so she could do the Walmart order, and then once she got it, she had no more need for you? Are y'all that desperate for attention? I don't know. But I need y'all to get it together. You was there for that? I love when people are there because then they're able to say, well, she either told the truth or she didn't tell the truth. I love it when people are in there when I come here and I give my commentary because I don't need to lie. Why? They give it all to me. I do not need to lie at all. Anyway, I don't have her picture up, but I'm going to talk about Sheena. She now has Sheena, the queen of TikTok. I'm just going to do it, because why not? I know I'm running over time, but so what? If you, mods, if you have to go, you are free to go. Oh, I already told you this. I already told you that she said something about being a recovering addict, but she never does it. Where does she live? Because she also talked about saying that she can't wait until she lives on her own. But I thought she was there with her spouse and her kids. Somebody in the house was gagging. I think it was one of the minor boys. And she yells at him to stop. She was like, I waited to go live because of that. And then when he came around the corner, I was like, she was talking to a minor child like that? Like, you didn't want to go find out why they were gagging? And then she said, I only beg for engagement gifts and battling assistance. Okay. Then she showed chat, because she's always in the kitchen. Then she shows chat 2 loaves of bread that she claimed was new that she had to throw out because of fruit flies. Girl, you can throw out all the bread you want. If it's a fruit fly, get the fruit. Get the fruit. She said, I can't wait to live on my own alone. I hate people being home. Now, I heard you a couple of weeks ago. This isn't her. So let me move it. I don't know if I have a picture of Sheena. I mean, I do, but I don't know where it is. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I have so many pictures in here, y'all. That's Carol. Oh, there she goes. I do have a picture. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the comments in the background. Shoot, fruit fries are a condiment. This is who I'm talking about. One of my first interactions, because you guys are the ones who put me on to her. One of the very first interactions I saw was she was having an argument with a woman in the comments. The woman has custody of some of the children, but we're not talking minors. Like the daughter she was complaining about in particular was 20 something and doesn't want to talk to her. And the woman was like, we want to try to facilitate you guys talking, and I'm going to treat her like my child as long as she's here. And there's more than one child there. You used to be a rug addict. How are you mad at somebody else? And how are you mad at your children for not wanting to have anything to do with you? They had to witness it, live with it, whatever the case may be. Or they were put in foster care, like whatever it is. How are you and your husband mad about where you are now? Just because you're better now does not heal the wounds of your children. Thank you, Purple. How? And how are you walking around the kitchen cleaning entertainment for people? The only thing you talk about is battling what you're doing for dinner, how you're losing weight, what you're cleaning. Like, there's no entertainment value whatsoever. And then the next thing you know, she's looking for somebody to battle. And she's like, I'm going to battle. Are you guys going to support me? She gets that gift gallery. And some of what they ask for is like, there's this one girl I'm going to talk about soon where she's like, I don't want a rose. I only want galaxies. And she's like, it's only $15. What? Only? Girl, bye. So, for anybody who recommended her to me, I'm watching. I am watching and taking notes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back to. I took myself all the way around the world. Here we go. So we did Richard Gypsy, Carol. Oh, last one is the Taylor family. And then we'll be done. Let me find the notes on them. So I brought her to y'all last week, I think. And she's pregnant. This is her third child. She doesn't have custody of the first two because she, I believe, is from California. And while she was in California and pregnant, she was smoking weed. And according to her midwife in California told her to do it. I have my doubts about that, but who knows? You get enough of a hippie, and she'll tell you weed cures everything. So when she's like down south somewhere. I think maybe with her baby daddy's family, and she was smoking weed during her second pregnancy. And when she had the baby and they tested the baby, she lost custody of the first two children. And she's pregnant a third time and has decided that she's going to not only have the baby home, just her and her boyfriend, no midwife, no nothing. She's like, the pain isn't that bad. And because she doesn't want that child taken too. Girl, they are watching you. What do you mean? You have the third child and you purposely didn't have the baby in the hospital to hide that pregnancy from them? They are taking that baby if it's just to test it. And you better hope there's nothing in the system. Because they're going to take the third baby and you'll be in more trouble. Now, at one point, they had weekend visits. They did a hair follicle test on the father. Y'all are funny. Y'all did a visibility restriction at the end of the live. Make that make sense. Thank you, though. Thank you. So, anyway, what she does is she gets on here and she complains that she's hungry, that there's no food in the house. That's her grift. And I'm pregnant. And so at one point she was like, I ate 10 o'clock last night. It's 12:30 today. I'm starving and the baby needs to eat. Now, this is my issue. Her boyfriend is never in the screen. I've never seen him. Never, not once. But he'll be in the background either with a family member or a friend. They'll turn the music up loud. They'll sound like they're having a great time. They don't sound hungry or desperate in any way, shape, or form. So why are you hungry? You saw him once. Why are you hungry every day? I mean, I've seen him in pictures, but I haven't seen him in the live begging. That's funny. Whoever created that "I'm hungry" gift cracks me up. I never hear him asking for money, and I've never heard her ask for food for him either. She only talks about how she's hungry. Somebody make sense of that for me. And I wrote down red flags. And don't say anything to her about resources. She don't want to hear about it. And when she wasn't getting any money, she just ended the live. And I know she came back a little bit later. And she'll be like, I'm angry because I'm hungry. Girl, the only reason why people are sending you money to eat is because you're pregnant. The moment you're not pregnant anymore, the moment she's not pregnant anymore, if she has that baby, it's going to be everything for the baby. Just like, what's her name? The one who's like, this is my first baby. I spent time in prison. Buy stuff for my baby. Like, you're asking for stuff you probably won't even use. Because they grow so quickly that it's no... Get them a bunch of onesies, a couple of outfits, because in a couple of days, they're not going to fit. It's going to go by so fast. But when you're a new parent, you think you need to have absolutely everything. By the third child, they haven't bought a single thing. And they might have even converted to reusable diapers because of how much money they spent on diapers on the first two. It's crazy. But this is your third child. And if you don't have food to eat, how are you going to take care of the babies? And when the other two children come back, if they come back full time, how are you going to feed them? Too many red flags. There's her act. If you want to go watch them. So I've already gone over by a long time, but I told them in the live last night that I probably would because I had a bunch of ancillary stuff to talk about. I will stay on for the next 7 minutes. If anybody would like to come up and have anything to say, you don't even have to agree with me. I don't require that. I'm not looking for sycophants. I'm just looking to have conversation. If you have questions for me, you are willing to. You're what's the word I want? Because willing isn't the right word. You are encouraged to come up. Wow, we got 3 just that fast. Hold on. Why does it do that? I can't stand it. Okay, I'm gonna call out who I want to speak and in the order in which I want to speak.
God dang. 3 people. Wow.
All at once. Go ahead,
Yeah.
disturb one.
It,
Go ahead, disturb one.
all right. First of all, did you see yesterday the thing I sent, scammer against scammer? Josh and Ada were talking about Beth.
Yes, that's why I came up too.
Oh my gosh, she went ape shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all
In
missed
the
it.
live with them or just
First, Beth went live and was talking. Well, first Josh and Ada went live, and somebody compared them to Beth, and they were like, "Oh, we're not like her. She's a scammer." And then Beth caught wind of it, and Beth was going off. She was going ham on Josh and Ada, and then Josh and Ada came back on and started making fun of Beth and roasting Beth. It was hilarious. She's right. It was great. It was great
I
watching.
hope somebody recorded them because I would love to.
I got both sides. I reposted the videos on my page.
Oh yes, thank you, fuck it.
And she was talking about somebody going in somebody's live and they're not letting her in the box, and why ain't you let me in the box? Are you afraid or blah 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 blah? She must have been talking about them.
Yeah, she said that Josh and Ada blocked her, but Josh and Ada were on their own page telling Beth to come over there and get in a box if she wasn't scared.
She always does
Which one of
that.
them?
She always does that because it keeps her people excited.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know which one of them was lying, but Josh and Ada was over there calling Beth into their box.
Yeah,
I
that was
thought
funny.
they needed to be humble.
It was. She's right. It was great watching last night. Y'all missed that.
Beth got disconnected like 3 times.
And she kept coming back. Yeah, they don't like to be called out by somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah, she kept getting discontinued, and finally she went over to Instagram, and so I'll be running my mouth over on Instagram.
Ah!
It's so funny, man. It was like, oh.
Me and Just Stop was streaming it all last night. It was great.
I gotta go watch it.
We were laughing so hard.
That's that. Dang, what time was that?
Oh, this was late. It was like almost 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I
it
was
about to
awake too, but I was like, I'm not going back on TikTok.
Oh man, you missed it last night. It was great watching.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
We were laughing so freaking hard.
Okay, let me get Carla the survivor.
Good morning, Digital. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Good. I just want to say you're doing an amazing job on here. I do watch you when you're on. I look for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I want to say this. If I'm not going to be on and like you missed the live and you haven't heard, if I'm not on by a certain point, always come to this page. I will post if I'm not going to go live. Okay? And I'm trying to make sure I post 24 hours in advance so that if you had to set an alarm, you can turn it off.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Okay.
you. I
Well,
appreciate you coming
I
up.
I am I do work. I was struggling there for a while. I do work. I love my job. I've been in caregiving CNA for almost 40 years.
Nice.
Um, but it's upsetting to me when I'm on here. Every other person on here is begging for a handout, and I reach out to resources, because like I said, I was struggling there for a couple months, and they practically scolded me because
Who
I need
did?
help. And I don't understand how the people that are out there working and trying to get by and make it are the ones that always seem to have the problems when it comes to resources. And I was so upset. You could say I was kind of disrespectful, but I did say to the lady, well, if it wasn't for people like us, you wouldn't have a job.
Ooh.
And I was like really pissed because I reached out for a resource last year, and I kept, my landlord and I had turned in every documentation that we needed. I updated them every month, and they kept, I would call. I actually had to be switched to another caseworker because my first caseworker, I couldn't have any contact. She wouldn't return my calls. The supervisor wouldn't return my calls. And so, they switched me to another one. Again, I had to go through the whole process all over again. And here comes February 14th of this year, they closed the program because
I'm
they
I'm
had so right away there was another agency.
Alexa, Alexa, can you
I'm
mute me for a second? Because
echoing.
I'm getting feedback.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
But
Carla,
yeah,
listen, because I'm
Alexa,
trying to end at 10, I wanted you to
Alexa,
give
she's
them some
muted.
time feedback, okay? So I'm not trying to, I'm sorry you went through that. Oh, okay. I'm,
are you there?
but I really don't want to go past 10 o'clock.
No, I
But
just
I'm
was
glad
just
that you're
saying that
working hard.
people that do reach out to resources, that are out there trying to better themselves and that are the ones that are having the trouble getting the help. And the
Yeah,
ones that you reach out to and say, here's resources, they don't want to accept them.
yeah,
It's
I agree.
upsetting.
Listen, they do not make it easy.
Exactly. I know
Do
that. I see
everything
that.
right. They do not make it easy.
Yep.
So, but I'm glad you're past that bump and you're doing well. I appreciate you being here.
And I,
And you're right. Those jobs are there to help people.
right.
Why they don't do it sometimes doesn't make sense to me.
Right. And the ones that are working and try to get help, and because they had a little bump and they like scold them for it, like why are you this, why that, things happen. You never know. You could be fine one day, next day you could be down and out.
Right.
So,
Well,
but again, I want to thank you for everything you do. Thank you for bringing me up in the golf. Sorry for the echo, but have a
no, it
wonderful
wasn't
day.
you. It was somebody else. It wasn't you.
All right, Dee Dee, I'm gonna drop too.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. It's 10 o'clock.
All right,
The
everybody have a good
moms
one.
have been working hard, and I'm sure there are other people on here that are either live or going to plan on going live. Go support everybody. Give them your daily heart me. You all have a great day. You know what I always say: hug your loved ones. Tomorrow isn't promised, and please take 15 minutes to do some self care. You can't help anybody unless you help yourself.
Have a great day, Digital.
You too, fuck it. Thank you for coming up.
Anytime, girl, anytime.
Love y'all. I'm out.